This is a story about love and growth, when a boy who believes in true love meets a girl who does not believe in love. Over the course of 500 days, they teach each other what love is and what growth is. Tom is heartbroken. After spending 290 days with Summer, he still doesn't know why they broke up. They were getting along well, yet when it came to breaking up, it was done with such determination. Reflecting on the days and nights spent with Summer, Tom is engulfed in extreme pain and loss. His friends advise him that old things must go for new ones to come, and that he will find someone better. Tom cannot take this advice. He does not want to forget Summer. He just wants her back by his side. Tom works at a gift company, mainly responsible for writing creative copy for greeting cards. Perhaps influenced by sad pop music and the movie The Graduate, Tom has always believed that one can only be happy by finding true love. In contrast, Summer does not believe in true love. Perhaps due to witnessing the tragic marriage of her parents, she has always held a casual attitude towards love, wanting to cut ties whenever she feels like it, just like her long hair that flows like a waterfall. The first time Tom sees Summer at a company meeting, they instantly feel a fateful connection, and his gaze begins to follow her intentionally and unintentionally. His best friend secretly tells Tom that this beautiful girl is not easy to pursue. A previous colleague tried to flirt with her in the copy room, but she didn't even acknowledge him, probably thinking too highly of herself. They think about it and agree. Beautiful girls are used to being pursued like the center of attention, and how many would take the people around them seriously? Tom decides to ignore her. He doesn't want to walk into a trap. A few days later, Tom runs into Summer in the elevator. He deliberately tilts his head to the side, pretending to be indifferent. But to his surprise, Summer takes the initiative to say, "You listen to Smith songs too?" She compliments Tom on his good taste in music, and after saying that, she playfully hums a few lines. After Summer leaves the elevator, Tom stares at her, realizing he is done for. He has already fallen for this girl. On the 8th day of meeting Summer, Tom starts to approach her actively. At a colleague's engagement party, he looks for her figure and casually chats with her as if by chance, asking how she has been and where she is from. Summer smiles and answers all his questions. Tom mentions that he doesn't really want to be a greeting card writer, as he studied architecture in college. Summer encourages him to pursue a career in a field he is interested in. Overall, this interaction goes smoothly, and they both cast a shadow in each other's hearts. On the 22nd day, Tom feels that he and Summer may not have a chance anymore, because they ran into each other in the elevator that morning. Tom asked Summer how her weekend was, and she replied that it was great, but she emphasized the word great. What does this indicate? It indicates that she spent her entire weekend fooling around with a man she met at the gym. There's another thing that must be mentioned. Once Summer said she was going to the storage room, she asked a few colleagues if they wanted her to bring anything, and they said in a knowing tone, "You know what I want." But Summer completely missed his intimate hint. What does this indicate? It indicates that she usually doesn't pay attention to me. I'm not special to her. Moreover, there was another thing that disappointed him. Tom deliberately played a Smith song in the office. He played it through external speakers and turned up the volume, but Summer acted as if she didn't hear it at all, with no reaction whatsoever. What does this indicate again? It indicates that her mind is not on me at all. His buddy asked Tom if he wanted to go to the bar over the weekend, emphasizing that everyone from the company would go. Tom glanced in a certain direction and, while saying he didn't care, suddenly felt tempted. That night, Tom watched Summer sing on stage. Her playful and cute appearance was truly captivating. Tom pretended to run into her and took the initiative to strike up a conversation. He complimented Summer's singing and echoed her words. His buddy seized the opportunity to ask the girl if she had a boyfriend. They seemed indifferent, but their ears were perked up. He heard the answer he wanted. Summer didn't have a boyfriend. However, she added that it was because she didn't want to find one. She didn't want to be anyone's someone. She just wanted to be herself. Tom immediately followed up. What if you meet true love? Summer smiled slightly disdainfully, saying that true love doesn't exist, and someone always gets hurt in relationships. If that's the case, why not live freely and independently? Want to play? Then play. Want to make friends? Then make friends. There's no need to date. They insisted on their views, and I think you're wrong. When you feel love, you'll understand. In a moment of indulgence, with the wine blurring their eyes, some walked unsteadily, while others had hidden meanings in their words. His buddy pointed at Summer, saying he liked her. Tom, like a thief covering his ears, pushed his buddy into the car, actually wanting to see Summer's reaction. The girl laughed and asked Tom if what he said was true. "Do you like me?" Her smile had a hint of joy and flirtation. Tom shyly replied, "I really like you." Summer then playfully asked, "Like a friend?" Tom felt a bit embarrassed, like a little bird that had been startled, and awkwardly answered, "Yes." Summer continued to ask, "Just friends?" Tom certainly wanted to say no, but the words got stuck in his throat. He hesitantly asked Summer, "Why do you ask that?" Summer seemed to sigh, then casually replied, "I think you're very interesting. It's better to just be friends." Tom watched Summer's figure walk away, as if watching his love gradually fade away. It seemed that there really was no hope for them. However, the chocolates that life gives you are never constant. A few days later, in the company's photocopy room, Summer suddenly kissed Tom, and Tom, confused, responded. After the kiss, she left without saying a word, leaving Tom standing there bewildered. The subsequent developments can be described as twists and turns. Tom and Summer's relationship quickly became intimate. They walked together on the streets, watched movies together, and browsed video stores together. They even strolled through IKEA like a couple who were engaged. Tom even began to sweetly envision their life after marriage, cuddling on the couch, watching TV, squeezing into the kitchen to cook delicious meals, and of course, lying on a soft, big bed in affection. Summer somewhat inappropriately told Tom that she didn't consider this a serious relationship, and that was okay, meaning they were not in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. Tom felt a bit disappointed, but agreed. That night, they elevated their relationship with Summer finally belonging to him, at least on the surface. After that, they were no different from ordinary couples, spending every day together as if they had endless things to talk about, sitting on the couch watching adult films, unlocking more positions. Tom took Summer to his favorite park, sitting on a bench admiring the stunning architecture. Summer had Tom draw on her arm, gently watching the man who was seriously drawing. On the 109th day, Summer took Tom to her home, which was significant for Tom, as he felt he was one step closer to Summer's heart. Summer also shared some past experiences with Tom, things she had never mentioned to anyone else, making Tom feel special to her. He believed that one day, love would settle Summer down. Without a doubt, Tom had completely fallen in love with this girl. He loved her charming smile, her beautiful hair and legs, the heart-shaped birthmark on her neck, the way she habitually licked her lips before speaking, her laughter, the way she looked before sleeping, and everything about her. Tom loved her so much, but at the same time he was questioning what their relationship really was. Were they dating? Or was it something else? Summer said she didn't know, and what did it matter? They were both happy now, wasn't that enough? Tom didn't press further. He was indeed very happy. He had been with Summer for 180 days. During this time, they experienced other aspects of dating, such as Tom asking Summer about her past relationships, how many boyfriends she had, and when her first kiss was. For example, they shouted and laughed in the park like two fools, disregarding others' gazes. Of course, they also went through arguments and reconciliations. After a quarrel, they lay in bed unable to sleep, feeling as restless as being attacked by mosquitoes in the summer, wanting to reach out to each other but both unwilling to lower their heads. In the end, Summer ran to their house in the rain at midnight. In an instant, all the awkwardness and grievances disappeared, and the embrace after the storm seemed to be even more tender. On the 259th day of being with Summer, the girl seemed to have lost her enthusiasm for Tom. His jokes no longer made her laugh. Their disagreements and arguments increased, and watching movies together was no longer filled with laughter as before. On the 290th day, Summer proposed to break up, saying that since they were no longer happy together, they should return to being ordinary friends. Tom felt like the sky was falling down. He had no mind for work and no mood for entertainment. On the 322nd day, Tom decided he hated Summer. Hated her crooked teeth, hated her outdated hairstyle, hated her bumpy knees, hated her cockroach-shaped birthmark on her neck, hated how she pursed her lips before speaking, and hated her laughter. On the 345th day, they tried blind dating. Everyone says the fastest way to forget someone is to find another person to replace them. However, Tom had no interest in the girl beside him. After all, she was not that person. His Summer was irreplaceable. On the 402nd day, they decided to attend a colleague's wedding, hoping the lively atmosphere would dilute their sadness. Unexpectedly, he encountered Summer on the train. They pretended to be calm, pretending he didn't care. But when she walked over, his heart started racing. Summer greeted him with a smile, as if nothing had happened. They had coffee together and chatted happily, a feeling so nostalgic and unforgettable. Then they attended the colleagues' wedding together, clinking glasses and sharing many jokes, teasing each other about their little embarrassing moments when they were together, like how he snored in his sleep and how his feet really stink. Tom invited Summer to dance, and she readily agreed. Everything seemed to come back, as if it had never gone far. Summer also invited Tom to a party next Friday, and he happily accepted, taking it as a hint, a chance for reconciliation. He thought Summer would stick with him throughout the event, believing they would naturally rekindle their relationship. However, everything was completely different from what he imagined. He was just one of the many friends Summer invited. To her, he had truly become an ordinary friend. He also discovered that Summer was already engaged. His world finally collapsed, losing all color and meaning. On the 440th day, Tom didn't get out of bed. On the 441st day, he slept until the afternoon and then went to the supermarket to buy a lot of alcohol. On the 442nd day, he despondently quit his job because he suddenly realized that the beautiful sayings designed for greeting cards about true love, dreams, sweetness, and happiness were all just lies deceiving the world. Especially the love that had been carefully packaged by songs and movies. Its true form was so painful, so bloody. After losing his job, he spent all day at home, feeling lost from the double blow of love and career. The memories of his time with Summer, from their acquaintance to getting close, to their breakup, happy, tender, sad, and distorted, flashed through his mind like frames from a movie, ultimately transforming into the sharp pain in his heart. He didn't know how long these days of heartache would last, or where his tomorrow would lead him. 20 days later, Tom resolved to pick himself up. What was lost, and he had to continue well into tomorrow. He returned to his beloved architecture, started interviewing for jobs again, and although some things were still hard to grasp, at least he could temporarily cover the past with busyness. On the 488th day, he went to the park he often visited, and unexpectedly ran into Summer again. He heard she was married, and Tom congratulated her, to which Summer smiled and said she hoped his blessing was sincere. Summer sat down beside Tom, just like before, and it was quite ironic. He, who once regarded love as a belief, was utterly disappointed in it, while she, who once shouted that she didn't believe in love, suddenly got married. If she was going to get married, why choose someone else? They couldn't understand it, and Summer said she didn't understand why it had turned out this way either. She just woke up one day and realized something. She realized she had never had confidence in Tom, and one day while sitting in a cafe reading a book, a man came over to ask about the book, and later he became her husband. Summer wondered, what if she hadn't gone to the cafe that day? What if she had arrived just 10 minutes late? This must be what they call fate and destiny. Now Summer believed in what Tom once said, when you feel love, you will understand. She believed in true love, but unfortunately that person was not Tom. Tom listened thoughtfully, and some things gradually became clear. Indeed, the problem was that the person was wrong, not love itself. As Summer got up to leave, Tom called out to her saying, "I wish you happiness. This is my sincere wish." They went on to interview for jobs again, and then he met another girl. There was a sense of fateful encounter in the air, and he understood that this was just a coincidence, like countless coincidences in the world. But when he took a step forward, perhaps that coincidence could become a destined connection.